Jen was supposed to do the district PAC report. She did go to the district PAC, and then she had a meeting scheduled for 1, and she thought it was Mountain Time, but it was really Central Time, so she isn't able to be here. But a lot of what they went over has kind of come out in letters recently. So what she told me to make sure I shared with you is the same thing that was in that first letter from Dr. Hawker on the 13th, that said that they had someone from Trial Runners come out. They're working with the company to collect data. Some of what he included in his letters to parents from last Friday, he said that the board did originally hope to go full face-to-face, but then the numbers in Stark County just skyrocketed. So they decided to stay hybrid. Everyone at the meeting, at the district PAC meeting, basically was agreeing that while hybrid isn't ideal, it's better than having to like full quarantine. And another parent brought up the situation with Trinity's K-4 having to just stop, be shut down because of COVID. And that the other thing she said was that what Dr. Hucker shared at district PAC was the exact opposite, like in all caps, she's like exact opposite of what was written in the Dickinson Press, which is part of why he had to go out and get that letter out right away. I don't get Dickinson Press, so I didn't read it. I don't know if anybody else did, but I've basically just been going off of what I've been getting from him. Let me just a second, and I can share this one. Can you guys see agenda right now? Okay, so did everybody see the letter on the 13th from Dr. Hawker? And did anyone have any questions about that?
I can't see anything on my screen right now. I'm on my phone, and I don't believe I read that letter.
It's the one that talked about how Jill from Trial Runners came and made a presentation to the school board, and how more information about how they're collecting information from the community for the district to figure out when is a good time to bring us back to in-person and what to do next. So that was from Friday.
And what was that discussion? Still up in the air, or?
The discussion is that we can't do it right now, and that just the process of going back to face-to-face is a big step, but with the numbers and with where the community is at, I am going under the assumption, I'm just operating under the assumption that we're staying hybrid till the end of the school year. If something changes, I'll deal with that at that point, but that's just kind of what I am personally working under, because there's so many things that would have to change, administratively and whatnot. Now with if you guys are watching the news with stuff with the vaccines, we'll have to see what all kind of comes with that. But until numbers in Stark County change, what I'm gathering is that we're just kind of staying where we're at until something changes.
Okay, question. You brought up the vaccine. Will children be mandated to get the vaccine, or is it optional, or does Dr. Hawker not know yet?
That hasn't even been addressed yet. Does that make sense? Like, they haven't even looked at that yet. The only reason I mentioned that was because to me, that would be something that might affect things in the future. So this is not anything that's been discussed at district PAC or anything. I'm just saying, like, it would have to be something has to change before the school board can change what our policy, what our plan is. Is that making sense?
Sure.
So can I jump in? So this,
please do.
So this particular company is offering to provide some sort of metrics for the Board of Education, because right now I hate to say it like this, but you're almost kind of guessing when's the right time to come back safely on a full-time basis, have enough teachers and staff in the building because there is a reality here that, you know, when we lose a staff member to either a quarantine for 14 days, or if they've tested positive, and I'm not even talking about students now, just staff, you know, we've, so far as a school district, the plan that we have in place has actually worked. We've kept all of our schools open as of today, which, I mean, to be honest with you, I was kind of skeptical that that would be the case as we're sitting here mid-November to be able to keep our schools open. So I think the plan with the hybrid so far has really helped, but there's this consideration to be, there has been a consideration about when is the right time to go back full time, because that's bottom line, that's what we all want, I think, for our kids. I know that's what I want, so I'll speak for myself. I'm assuming parents do too, but how do you make that decision? So this person is providing a metrics right now, and so they're looking at, so the board will have continued dialogue here. I think next week is the next meeting to look at not the data, but just the collection of the data. And I'm not an expert with these metrics at all, but it would be a way for them to make a more educated decision on a safe time to come back. Is kind of the Cliff Notes version of what that conversation is.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope that helped.
It does, because the way that I understand it is they're gathering information as best they can, and they haven't ruled anything out, but they're just taking it one step at a time. And nothing has been decided yet. We're just kind of continuing to move forward, if that makes sense. The other one, did we all get the one from the 17th about masks? I was actually going to ask about that because I've seen some stuff online when they posted this on Facebook. Some people were like, this conflicts with what the executive order is, because the executive order apparently does, I mean, this is just what I'm hearing, is that the executive order gives an exemption for anyone in an education environment. I don't know if you know anything more on that.
Our communications person actually contacted the governor's office to confirm that we had the right approach to this, and they did confirm that this is this indeed is the intent of what the governor's executive order is until December 14th. So yes, they called, and Sarah Trustum called just to confirm with his staff.
How are the students doing with this so far?
Well, you know, so far this year, the kids honestly have done remarkable. Yesterday, this was a change. We knew that as of Friday, there was probably going to be well, we knew Friday night when the governor made that announcement that we would have to make some adjustments in what we've done, because we've been able to provide, because of the size of our classrooms, and I'll just speak at Heart River, but I think across the district, but at Heart River, we've been able to really socially distance in a lot of cases because the numbers are just a little smaller in most classrooms. So the kids have had an opportunity to not always have their mask on. This changes obviously a little bit. So this was just really as of yesterday, we put this out. I walked around today to most of the classrooms, and you know, I know the kids like having their mask break, and we're going to have to look for other ways to try to do that. Even recess time, we've had to change what we've done. I don't love that. I know many of you don't love that either. I don't get to make that decision in this case. I have to follow the decision from our governor. And so I've had some teachers come in here and they're sharing with me that they're going to just, you know, is it okay to take a 10-minute break outside where the kids can be apart, but not necessarily at recess time? So they're trying to fit in different opportunities for our students to have these fast mask breaks. So today they seem like they're doing pretty well. You know, overall, I think it's just been tough on everybody. I had a second grader tell me yesterday, you're the boss. You're the one that can make these decisions. I thought it was pretty funny coming from a second grader. I get his thinking. so I felt bad. I'm sorry, buddy. I have to. This is one of those times I'm not able to make the change. So you know, it's tough on everybody. But I think the kids, honestly, the kids and our teachers, you guys, I know you don't get to walk into the school and see on a day-to-day basis like you have in the past. They really have done, in my opinion, as a leader, as a principal of the school, they've done amazing. I mean, honestly, amazing.
Okay, so does anyone have any other questions for district that we can give to Jen to take to the next meeting? Above and beyond this? Okay, so let's move over to budget. Can you guys see it all, or or is it hiding? All y'all are, there we go. Now I can see it. So our ending balance right now, $16,704.63, and that's after our payment, after all of the deposits that came in. I had 2 very short phone calls with Jeanette about this, and I can't remember what she said. That there might be like 1 or 2 that we still are waiting on money for as far as chocolate, but really everything is pretty much in. We are going to need at some point to talk about, like, what are we raising our money for? What do we want to do with it? I don't know if anyone has any thoughts right off the bat. The other thing is we could just all think about it and readdress it in January once we've had some time to think about it, because we will definitely need that before we go into the fun run in the spring. Any thoughts?
I have 2 thoughts for you to consider.
Yes.
First one is maybe to consider potentially just maybe giving a certain amount to each teacher just to use at their discretion. So as an example, maybe $100, because I know that they spend above and beyond typically out of their pocket for their kind of their passion projects.
Mm-hmm.
So that would give them the opportunity just to kind of choose something that they want to do. So it's just a thought for you to consider. And then, and I'm certainly open to any other ideas that anybody has, but one of my desires to see here at Heart River moving forward into next year would be, I would love to take the current lab that we have here at Heart River. The technology in it is great, but they're desktops and they're starting to become outdated. And we're moving towards these one-to-one devices. As you know, everyone has one now. I would love to see potentially that lab become more of like a STEM lab where kids could create things in there. So I don't know if you've heard of Ozobots. They're little things that you can program that move around. And it's just kind of a coding. 3D printers are really a neat thing for students to have access to. So it wouldn't necessarily be for this year, but to kind of start thinking about that, I would love to see students here have more access to that type of technology. Alicia, you've worked in the summertime. So some of that stuff I think is similar to maybe perhaps what you have done in the summer program too, in the camp. Even potentially doing like I've been kind of following on Twitter the past couple of years, and I was in the process of starting this in the school I was at prior, but creating like a Lego wall. So you have like how you have the green bricks that kids would normally play. It would be a wall that kids can actually put their creations on the wall and design things and stuff. So just something to consider. Again, it's not right now necessarily, but to potentially start thinking of using some of the funds towards those types of things. And I don't have any numbers or anything like that. It's just an idea right now, but I just wanted to share those 2 thoughts with you.
I like those ideas. Hold on 1 second.
Yes, I like both those ideas as well. Especially the discretionary fund for the teachers. I think that would be really cool because they do spend a lot of their own money on different things for our kids, and it would be nice to be able to help out with, the things that they want and need for their rooms.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So if we did something like discretionary funds for teachers, would that be something that would help them this year, or would that be something like starting as funds starting at the beginning of next year? Or
I would love to see it for this year, but that's just my 2 cents. I know a lot of them do different projects in their classroom, and they're super cool. And we have some funding obviously in our school for them. There's the supplies, and then we will help pay for some things, and they have a very small amount of money that they can spend out of our budget. But I just, over the years of working with teachers, they spend far more than what's ever given to them out of their pockets. So my thought would be, if it's feasible and it's agreed upon, something this year certainly would be nice.
Mr. Moss, question for you. So I know in the past, when it's too cold for children to play outside, they usually go to the gym, but I'm assuming they can't go to the gym anymore. And when it's too cold for recess, they usually do play in the hallway. Is that still a thing? Because I was thinking like maybe STEM stuff for like recess during when there's no outside play because it's too cold. Thankfully, we haven't come to that yet, but it's North Dakota and we'll get there soon. You know, and usually the board games that are pulled out for children are kind of old and worn and all that. So what about like indoor hallway or classroom recess where they do have the option to do STEM stuff?
I know that was the indoor recess stuff was something that we had asked last year. And I know Mrs. Cook had like emailed that out to teachers and asked for input. And she never really heard anything back from them at all. I do know we've got that sensory hallway now. How, like, I'm trying to think of how that's working, or if there's something we can be doing in other hallways along the lines of Jess's idea.
So I don't know about, I mean, I think that's a good idea. I don't know what that would look like, Jessica, that they could play with, you know, because some of that stuff you have to really monitor well. And you know that indoor recess, it is always monitored, but it looks a little bit different than maybe a classroom in terms of, you know, the instruction piece to it. So I don't know. We'd have to kind of, it's certainly an idea. I just don't know what that would be. So I would be open to it. In terms of other items, I actually saw a cart full of some of the stuff. It does look a little dated to me. That would be indoor recess stuff. So that's a great idea of potentially just adding some more stuff to our recess. Legos are always a hit with the kids, to be honest with you. You know, I'm not saying that that's the only thing, but.
And then one more thought: if we were, you know, we were talking about what are we raising money for? Where can it go in our school? The paras did a wonderful job last year at the end of the year of scrubbing down lockers. But I was thinking last year as a para myself that the lockers are a little thin and a little outdated. I know that's a big thing too, but I was thinking about the lockers for students. I mean, they're not nearly as bad as the high school. The high school's like pencil thick lockers. But there is some wear and tear to the lockers, so that's a thought on my part.
And Jessica, you haven't seen it. They actually just came through the summertime when they were done with the heating and cooling, and they actually painted at least the inside of the lockers so that they're touched up and a little fresher. So, but certainly that's a thought. That would be, you'd really have to set aside a pretty significant amount of money to approach that, because it's pretty spendy.
If I had a job, I would see it. Send me a picture, Mr. Muffley.
Okay. I think we've got some ideas. If anyone comes up with anything else in the next month, you know, let's give ourselves some time to kind of just percolate on it and think on it. And we can maybe address it and make final decisions at a later meeting once everyone's had a chance to kind of hear it. So moving on to Logo Magic. Have you guys seen the online store? Yeah? Anybody had a chance to buy stuff yet? I was gonna say I haven't made it there. I can't decide what I want.
We're gonna look at stuff today, so.
Okay.
You know what I order.
Are the reminders that are coming across Facebook, are we seeing those? Do we think we need to do anything different as far as reminders and getting the word out for that at all? Or is that just kind of we're going with it? And
you mean like the Heart River reminders or the Heart River PAC reminders?
Heart River. because I know that there's been reminders on the Heart River Elementary Facebook page about shirt sales and whatnot. And I want to make sure I'm not the only one seeing those. And if you guys think we need to be doing anything more to kind of promote this or not, or if we're doing okay.
How about we send out like another flyer? Is that possible? Like in the kids with the kids and stuff? Because I don't go on. I haven't been on Facebook a lot lately myself. So I haven't really seen much on there. But I would think sending out another flyer would be another good way to get it out so that the parents, and there are some parents that actually aren't on Facebook either. Like I have a friend who's not on there. She doesn't do
Right.
Facebook at all.
Okay.
That would be it.
When does it end?
The end of the month. So like the 30th of November.
Okay.
I think I sent it out, if I'm not mistaken, last Friday as a reminder too, Alicia. You had asked me in the email. So it went to Facebook and an email.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to send out again if you think it's necessary. I'm always careful about how much email I'm sending out, but if you guys would like me to do that, if you want to send me the flyer again and you think that's appropriate, I'm happy to send that out again too.
But Christy, are you talking about an email or are you talking about a sheet of paper that comes home?
Like the sheet of paper, so that the kids are actually bringing it physically handing it to their parents. The parents have to actually have the tangible. It's in my hand.
If I send a half sheet something to Jeanette, can we do that? Okay. Does someone want to make that?
I can work on it if you want to. Okay, Jess can.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know what you got.
Maybe she'll drag me down to help her.
Alrighty.
Mr. Mike, did you happen to see the cups for the custodians?
That's all he drinks out of now. You saved him $20 a month buying water. He's a happy camper. They both are. That was very nice.
Awesome. Before we, all right, I'm going to stop that for a second. Before we get into more Appreciation Day stuff, I wanted to just do fun run. We need to figure out what we're going to do about the fun run, because that's always something where we run around the school, and I know we have, with hybrid schedule, that's going to get a little bit more complicated.
One of my friends.
When we first,
oh, go ahead, Jessica. Sorry. No, go ahead.
When we first started talking about the fun run, I did look up some websites where you can do virtual fun runs and raise money. How that would work at home, I don't know. Would you have kids run up and down the block around their house or whatever? I can look more into that. There was quite a few websites that offered virtual fun run, advertising fun runs because of COVID and all that. So I can look more in depth into that. I don't know how it would work. Research would need to be done.
That's what I was going to say too. There's a friend of mine back in Michigan's a principal, and they're doing a virtual run too. And so far they've done pretty well on it. Their goals, they're hitting their goal with it. So that's kind of neat. They're just doing it now, actually, kind of more as a turkey trot, but same concept. So I think that's probably a solution, because who knows what we'll look like in the spring.
Yeah.
Do you know what company they're using, what website they went through? Like somebody that we know is reliable? Could you find that out?
This one is an app that says 99pledges.com, app.99pledges.com. I'm not familiar with it beyond that. I trust my friend that she's probably done the research in it, but other than that, I'm not sure.
That's the one that we used 2 years ago for our fun run at Heart River. So that's the one that I was going to use again, as far as keeping track and getting kids' pages up and whatnot with that. It's just a matter of we always done it with, it's a lap around the school. And a lap around the school, I think Kuzi figured out it was a full mile, or is it a half mile? I can't remember.
I'm not sure on that.
Like
I'll go run it right now. I'll be right back.
I was gonna say, Christy, do you remember?
I don't remember exactly. I wanted to say it was like a whole mile or a little bit less than a mile maybe. But no, I
Yeah.
don't think it was a half one. I think it was like either it was a full mile or a little bit less. But I know that what they counted is like kindergartners were counted like the two for one whole lap for kinder,
It was two.
two laps.
I
But
want to say it was a half mile. So if you went around twice, it was a full mile. I am like 80% sure that that's what it was. And so it would be something where we'd have to figure out what distance would be. Another option to consider we could talk to Miss Kuzi if there was some sort of like a fitness cycle where it's like you do so many push-ups or so many jumping jacks or so many, whatever it is that they do, something that's familiar to the kids to figure out something that might be an equivalent to a half mile. And then the kids would have a certain period of time to do that. So what we really need is we need someone who's willing to maybe either talk to Kuzi, email Kuzi and see if she has any suggestions or kind of just figure out some options.
I can get in touch with Mrs. Kuzi.
Okay. Get in touch with Miss Kuzi to see if she has some ideas for something we could do for that. And then
There's also, I think I've seen some things also where there's like jump roping too, but I don't know how many of the kids can jump rope. I mean, I could probably still have a hard time jump roping if you asked me to do it today. So,
but that would also be something for Kuzi because she might come up with something different for every grade, or she would be the one to know kind of where the kids are at and what would be a good something for that. So if you do that and then next meeting, let us know. We can kind of move forward with that. And then appreciation days. That's why you keep your chair flat, child. Hold on. Let's go back here. Okay, so this is the schedule I have for appreciation days. So we did custodian appreciation day. Next up is school counseling week, which is in February, and then school social work week. We had fun doing those cups for the custodians. If we want to try to do a small little gift something as we go into the rest of the year, we probably need to get started sooner rather than later. It's just a matter of if
That's
we've
just
got.
what I need.
Okay. If anyone wants to help with I mean, that might not necessarily need to be something we do here, but if we have like a group of people that want to like help with ideas or putting stuff together, basically anyone crafty and want to help with stuff, anyone have ideas that they think would be good? Yes, no, maybe? Nobody?
I can help out wherever you need me, but
All right.
You and I both have a Cricut.
I was gonna say, Jess, between the two of us, we might be able to figure some stuff out, and
And it's what's up next? What's February?
February, it's school counseling week.
And we only have Miss Sanford.
Yep, so that's Miss Sanford, and then in March it's school social work week, which is
Mrs. Seeks.
yes, thank you. And then, but April 2nd is Para Appreciation Day. And so then, and then in May, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. So we want to make sure, like one for school counseling, one for social work, but then we've got a bunch for Para Appreciation Day. And I don't want to be like the last week of March pulling my hair out because I didn't think ahead. So that's kind of where I'm at, is just as we kind of work through that. I know I'm early, but thinking of things, if you guys got stuff to suggest, contribute, let me know. I think, are we okay with Jess and me just kind of crafting it up? I know you really love to help with crafty stuff, Cammie. Okay. I'm getting there. Are we okay with this schedule? I know I asked this in the Facebook group. We good with the schedule? Okay. Principal's report. Mr. Muffley, that's you. I'll shut up now.
No, you're good. So, hello everybody. Again, I wanted to give you actually several updates. We started the kind of full on board positivity project November 1st, and it's going great. I'm talking to staff and watching the kids. So just as a reminder, we're doing this during our social emotional learning time we've carved out from the start of the school day until about 8:30. So the lessons or the content's about 15 minutes. It's all grade level specific. So it's designed by teachers. And then, and so it's really very simple for our staff to use. And actually it's so simple that we also do our professional learning community time Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays during that time, just the way we're doing it this year. So so for example, today was third grade and first grade, we're meeting, our paraprofessionals can come in during that time and they can jump right into the lessons. That's how easy they are just to teach. So that's really been working out well. But this week we're talking about gratitude. Next week, the character trait is gratitude also. So great dialogues happening with our students. Last week was bravery. It was really cool with Veterans Day too. There were some really good conversations. We're hearing the kids starting to use that language. I was in a 5th grade classroom the other day and they were having a math lesson. And in that math lesson in Mrs. Friarwood's class, the kids used the word perspective. That's one of the character traits. And they started talking about the character trait perspective and how to look at this particular math problem. So it was really cool. So I'm already seeing it having the impact that I know it can have on a school and the culture of the school, and the teachers are giving me some really good feedback. So I just want to let you know, I hope you're having conversations at home. I put in our monthly notes that we send home through the s'mores. I'm going to keep doing that. I'll put the character cards in there for you to see. So what are the upcoming character traits? And then there's information in those character cards for families just to look at. If you choose to have a conversation at your dinner table, that's kind of a cool thing and a cool tool for you to use. There's some nice quotes in there, I think, and there's some other helpful tools. So so it's going well. We also received a grant for some banners that will have our school logo and the Positivity Project logo on it. So there's 4 banners that are being made right now at Sinorama. Those should actually be done today, and I'll pick those up and we're going to be putting those around the school too. So there's a lot of other cool things we'll continue to do with it, but I think we're off to a good start considering it's only been a couple weeks with it. You saw what Alicia shared with you with the mask updates. Again, you know, the 2nd grader called me out yesterday on it, said, I'm the boss here, I can make the decisions. And while that's true for some things as a principal, this is one that I have to adhere to from our governor, being a public school and across Dickinson public schools. And so we're going to do our best to provide our kids with the mask breaks when we can. Teachers, again, today we're talking about taking the kids, a beautiful day outside, so they're taking the kids outside. So we're going to do everything we can. This is until December 14th. And then it's going to be reassessed. You know, and just to reiterate again how the kids are doing up to this point, the kids have just been honestly doing amazing, better than I anticipated, to be honest with you. I was a little concerned because it was new for all of us what it would look like, but they really have done just a superior job with it, and our teachers have too. Our teachers have been amazing. I know you guys are supporters of them. The work that they've had to do starting last March, but up to this year, jumping into Seesaw, learning lots of new tools. And we're all a community of learners, obviously, but it was a lot all at once to be learning. And they are just doing, you know, we just keep getting better, in my opinion. And there's still room for us to continue to improve in the model that we're currently in. And I think some of the stuff is just good stuff that when we're all done with this, I think there's some pieces in here that will be here to stay. Unfortunately, your kids will never have another snow day. You realize that, right? Like they might stay at home, but they're still going to be learning. So unfortunately, these poor kids will never have a day of just snow day again, I don't think, because we have these devices where the learning can keep happening at home. It's American Educator Week. So last Friday, we took, so I brought an example, of course, I had to. I'll be eating this after. But we made some cinnamon rolls and we walked around with the hot chocolate cart and provided our teachers on Friday, Mrs. Wyckoff and I, spreading some joy. Today we have some big cookies that we're going to hand out that were made by, I believe she's the cake lady. I think that's what she goes by. So she brought those in, and just to let our teachers know we appreciate the work they're doing this week. So that's some of the stuff that we've been doing around here. I'm meeting with our school improvement team this afternoon at 3:15, and we're continuing our work in our high reliability schools. So we're at level 2, which is effective teaching in all of our classrooms. And so we're gonna thank you for those of you who participated in our parent survey that we sent home. We're gonna start sifting through that. And we also did a survey with our students and our staff. And so we're gonna go through that data. We're gonna look at areas of strength and areas that we need to grow in. And then we're gonna start building a plan from that. So I'll share more next month as we kind of sift through that data. And it's very similar to, for those of you here last year, which I think was all of you, what we did last year with the level 1. So in about the next month, oh, go ahead, Christy.
I have just a question. The one that came through on CISA, just please tell me that one was supposed to be filled out by the parents.
The teacher sent one that was on Seesaw. I sent the parent one, so the teacher one was probably the student one. So
I don't know, it came through my phone, but I wasn't sure. So I filled out one, but the questions were really kind of wonky, like asking me how, like, what teachers were coming into the classrooms, if people were coming into the classroom. And I was like, I don't know these questions, these answers. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, I filled this out.
Did
but
yours
it's
have
probably not for me.
Did it have smiley faces on it?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I have to look at
that
it
might
now.
have been the student one, but that's okay.
I'm like, I don't know these questions. I'm like, do you guys have people coming into the classroom with you? Are there people coming in to observe the teacher?
Some of the questions, well, and some of the questions honestly are tough. Even the parent one, there's some questions that, to be honest with you, you may not know, but they're the questions that are part of the high reliability school. So we certainly take that into account as we kind of look at that.
Okay, and what was this week, really quick, Jess? What was this week called again? It's not Teacher Appreciation Week, but it's called what?
The American Educator Week.
Okay. Go ahead,
Mr. We're talking about the SIT committee. Is there a parent on the SIT committee?
Mr. Scari is a community member, and so we actually right now have him on there. And so right now I'm comfortable with that. We might be adding more here, but just to kind of get us started, that's where we are with it. Are you interested if we need another person? All right, good to know. The district has hired, through the climate grant that I received some of the money with the Positivity Project. There's a grant that we have, it's called a Climate Culture Grant. The district also is, through that, able to have a person that's part-time, and but she's going to be enhancing. So actually, as we were talking, I just got an email from her asking to send some pictures for the district website, or the Facebook page, I should say, on the Positivity Project. But she's also going to be in the process of updating our district website, and then it'll be our schools' websites too. So that'll probably be in the next month or so that you'll be seeing some pretty, I think, significant changes to the format of the district website. So more to come on that, but I think that's pretty exciting. Next week, so last month, Coach Kuzi and a team of staff put together our Harvest Festival for our students. They had a lot of fun. I was shooting hoops. I can still beat most of the elementary kids. I just wanted to brag for a moment. Yeah, that's what I'm going to hang my hat on here in my life. And but next week we're going to be doing a turkey trot with the kids. So we're going to continue to do some fun things in the gym with our students. So next week will be a turkey trot. I don't know what games she has planned, but we're trying to still do those fun things too when the kids are here, and all the kids get to participate in that. So that's an important part of what we're doing. So that's it for my updates. Is there any questions or concerns that you might have, or anything I can answer or try to answer?
I have another question. What is this other website that you're talking about? Did you call it S'mores?
So the monthly notes that I'm sending to our families through the email is the website that I'm putting those notes on. It's called S'mores.
How do I not have this one?
So is your email, you should have your email through Power Schools, and you should be getting a monthly update from our schools. That's the newsletter.
Okay, I have to look at that again. Power School that's kind of a wonky site too. That's okay. I'll
I'm
figure
here
it
to
out.
help. Give us a call if you need help with it. We can get you
Okay.
on the right track with it. So I hope you like the newsletter. It's a pretty interactive newsletter, and I think it looks good on phones too, because I know a lot of our families actually just look at this information on phones. I've not had anybody ask for a hard copy, so the response seems to be pretty good. It's something I've used for the past few years in another school, and people really seem to like it a lot. So I can do a lot of stuff with it. I can embed videos in it. At some point, I'll do some more updates that'll come from me, and I can just put that right in the note. So, but Christy, let us know if you need help with it. Okay. Is there any other questions or anything?
No, I guess we can start brainstorming in the PAC group about teacher appreciation stuff and all that. And the next district PAC meeting, I'm assuming that's on Zoom. Is that on Zoom? Okay. And we've talked about tossing it between us in the past, Alicia, so let me know about that. But other than that, we'll just start brainstorming ideas for teacher appreciation stuff in the fun run on the River PAC website, on the Facebook page.
Don't forget, I still have all those things here, Alicia. Like
Yeah.
300 glow sticks,
Mm-hmm.
bajillion things from last year that we didn't use because they're all in my
Oh,
garage.
I have 3 bins in my basement of stuff that we gathered for last year that we
Just
didn't.
so that we know that I have all these things too.
Yes, I have not forgotten.
Emergency teacher, weird looking card things. Break this if you want to. It's like a lifesaver and Smarties. I don't know. There's some
Okay.
weird stuff on them, but so
All right,
you guys can get those together and bring those to the school or something.
Look at you guys keeping all the storage for Heart River. Thank you. I have a few desks I need to get rid of. Can I bring them over?
No.
I wanted to add one more quick thing. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Another thing that you're going to see here, I would assume all of you will see at some point during the course of the year, but and I know this is going to be kind of hard to see, but I'm creating, these are the positivity character traits. There's 24 of them. This is going to be a certificate that all of our staff will have access to, and the goal is to really recognize every single day our students when they're exhibiting, and we don't want to just hand them out, frivolously, but at the same time we want to recognize when our students are exhibiting one of these character traits. So it's a way to acknowledge our students, and it's going to be a full-page certificate. And so what we're going to do with it, and I'm just kind of tweaking it to make sure we're good with it, but then I'm going to take it over and get it a 2-ply. So one of them will come home, the color certificate that your student would be recognized, say, for bravery. Something happened and the teacher or a staff member recognized that student for bravery. And then the second page of it, the teachers are going to keep, and once a month, first off, we're going to see how many we're going to really work on getting these out to our students. And, hopefully we are able to give out 300-400 a month to our kids to really make sure we're recognizing the good, the strengths in others. And then 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these and it's going to be very simple, but I'm going to pull out a couple of names out of I'm calling it what did I call it? I called it a Way to Go Otters box. And we're going to pull out a couple of the names to read on our daily news. So it's going to be a very simple acknowledgement besides the certificate. And then I don't know if you've seen my daily news that I do for our students. It's all video, but I do a video news, so our daily announcements. I do a joke of the day. Oh my gosh, they're so terrible, but the kids seem to like them. So sorry, the new thing this year is I keep getting joke books from kids, so they must be bad. Better joke, Mr. Muffley. I have 3 in front of me right now, joke books. I'm not kidding. I had a kindergarten student give me a joke book the other day. So anyways, the kids are going to be able to, when we draw out some names, we're going to let some kids tell jokes, and that'll be a way to acknowledge each month too. I think that'll be kind of fun, because I'm not only am I getting joke books, but I'm getting sticky notes every day of jokes from kids. So anyways, I just wanted to share that this is something else we're going to be doing probably starting in December. So sorry to take more time.
Mr. Muffley, is that replacing the thing that Mrs. Cook did last year, where she wrote down like that little square and they got acknowledged and it was stuck on the wall? That's replacing that.
I like that.
Okay.
With that announcement that you do every day, would it be possible for you to share it on to the like homeschool days to their Seesaw? Would their teachers be able to do that?
Yeah, teachers should be able to do that actually. So you could reach out to your teacher, because I encourage
Okay.
them to send them home.
Sure. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
that, because they're every single day. So the days that the kids aren't in school, they should still be able to see those announcements. Because I upload it to YouTube and then I run it through what's called UPure. So it takes away it should take away the announcements on the side, the clutter that you would see. And so it's a YouTube link is what I guess I'm trying to say. So yes.
Okay.
So just reach out to your child's teacher and just let
Okay.
them.
Maybe I missed it.
Under the notifications, actually, it doesn't actually pop up like under the assignments on Seesaw. So if you're looking at their page and you look at like where their assignments are at, or where it's like their done list or whatever it is over on the one side, the journal, and then it says the to-do little square in the middle, and on the other
Okay.
side it's got the notification side, and that his message usually pops up underneath that spot.
I was gonna say, it depends on the
Yeah.
teacher, because,
I was gonna say, yeah, the last one I got was from September 22nd. So.
yeah,
I'll tell you what I'll do, Cammie. I will just send out a gentle
Oh.
reminder to everybody to just make sure they're sending those out.
Okay. I was gonna say,
Yeah,
yeah.
but like I said, it's
I'll keep
too. I
looking.
usually only find it on Alex's, I think, or DJ's maybe, but I think Alex's I see it under Mrs. Russell, but then Bella's, I'm not sure where hers is at, and DJ's is usually underneath Miss Kuntz's, but I'm
Okay.
not sure where Miss Cranston's is at.
I was gonna say, I don't know if that's like, it's really great. Aaron will get a journal update. So every day he's home and he'll have a whole list, and it's, here's all the things that you've got to do. And it'll be like a link to announcements, a link to CNN 10, and it's all right there so he can see it. So I think it all just depends on how different teachers get stuff up there. So I was gonna say, anyone else had anything? Have anything? I wanted to check in and just see how we're doing parent-wise. Like, are we doing okay? Are we still here?
No,
Like-
I quit my job. I checked out. I tapped out a few times. I said I'm done. I have a first grader who refuses to do her at home work and runs away from me and thinks that if she does one sentence, then she gets a 20-hour break.
Wow. Are we talking about the same kid or?
So
Yeah,
here's,
a lot of like
Ours went yesterday from I think 9 a.m. till 7 p.m.
so here's a question actually for you guys, because I know that Miss Sanford and Miss Seeks have done like coffee and conversation in years past, and they were going to try to maybe do it virtually this year, but I don't know how much response time they got from that. Would you guys be interested in maybe having one or the both of them pop on to a PAC meeting just to, tips or suggestions to answer questions about how like helping us parents help our students? Does
I
that
think that'd be a good idea because I think
Yeah.
Jess, you have a problem with llama sometimes too, don't you? Like I think
oh,
her and I both.
Lana's like 45 assignments behind. We're trying to catch up, but it's a struggle. I mean, and she's a good student in school.
Yeah, and that's how Bella is.
But having mom, is different than having a teacher. Mom, I try to be structural, but you're not my teacher, is what I get. And then mom gets frustrated, and mom's like, you know what, we're not going to do this. So let's just, fine. I would rather have an easygoing day and relationship than argue with you about doing your schoolwork. I mean, yes, she's behind, and yes, we try catching up, but it is definitely a struggle, because she wants to be in school all the time, and she doesn't understand that she can't be in school all the time. So yeah, I think having her pop in on one of our PAC meetings to, kind of, because this is recorded and we do release it, to kind of instruct on ways to help parents help their children cope with the changes that are being made in their lives. Children are adaptable, but only so much before they get frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The one up
I think
last,
to call Mr. Muffley only worked for a little while. Sorry.
the one other thing I was gonna ask is we've always in the past discussed at the November meeting whether or not we want to do one in December, because the next meeting would be the 16th of December. And so it's a matter of whether we want to do that or whether we want to wait until the 20th. Of January. Sorry, not the 20th of December.
I think we do one in December.
Okay.
December 14th is a mask mandate cutoff or whatever where changes will be made.
Okay.
I think with everything changing with COVID and everything going on in the schools, I think we would benefit with having one in December to see where we're at.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Then we will go along with that. I was gonna say, I think that's all I have. Anyone else have anything else? Are we missing anything? No? All right.
All right. You guys have a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.